Mitchell, we're going to talk today about AI and how that affects athletes and people that don't really understand it, and how much it really can focus on hurting our society as well as helping our society. Because the one thing I've realized about AI, somebody has to put the answers in there.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, AI is an extremely powerful tool, and sometimes it's misappropriated, used in a very malicious manner. You can take an individual's voice and, put it over images and make it seem as if, that person was in the room doing X, Y, or Z with X, Y, Z person. You can really slander and go after a person's character. And again, Dennis, for us, what we're talking about here is, how does this all affect our current athletes today mentally? They have to deal with social media. They have to deal with, the fans. They have to deal with, their own personal issues and personal problems. How do they get through all of these different things when you have all of these different technologies coming at you, trying to tear away at your brand, or trying to question your brand, or trying to put a seed of doubt into your mind when you're trying to go out and compete at the highest level night in and night out?
Yeah.
It's scary.
Well, the thing, AI, it's interesting. You have so many people who love it. Corporations love it because it can help them save money.
Right.
People like it because you can get an answer. Mm-hmm. Like on my app, Mark, producer of the show, put one on mine. So I ask it all these questions, can't help you. Like, well, what the hell am I asking you the question for? And then you ask it, like, you can talk about sex, it will not answer. You can talk about criminal activity, it will not answer. You can ask how to do certain things, it will not answer. And so, I guess there's a place for it. And people think, well, it's going to have to replace a lot of people in work. Well, you think about it. If it replaces people in work, if it replaces people in anything, you're never going to get 100% of what you need, because it's going to make mistakes.
Right.
And like you said about athletes, what are some of the situations you've heard or come across? I know years ago in New York, I lived in New York, there was a football player, met two girls, went upstairs, they drugged him. Next thing you know, the FBI was involved because it showed a man having sex with him. Even though it was simulated, they tried to sue him. This athlete was smart enough to say, He went to so I spoke at a school years ago, and FBI was speaking, explaining this to athletes. Here's what you're going to have. Here's what the reality is of it. So what things could you say AI has affected athletes that you've seen or that you believe is going to happen in the future?
I think it's affected them in a lot of ways. I think when you see players talking on the court now, they grab their shirts and they pull them up over their mouth and they talk to each other, because in an AI situation, you can have someone do a complete voiceover of that conversation and have them saying things that are just outlandish, and it would appear as if they're actually having that type of conversation.
Have you seen those on TikTok? They do have those.
Oh, absolutely.
They had Caitlin Clark doing it once. They had a couple other athletes, and it was their voice.
Right.
But there's no living way in hell they were saying what they're saying, because one of them was, yes, we played against them. They're worthless. They're pieces of shit. They weren't as good as I'm thinking. I didn't see that in the championship game.
No.
So, but the sad thing is, people look at that and don't realize it, and they believe it.